Welcome to Tanker Talk, where tonight we'll be playing Scum and Villainy, a game forged in the dark based on Blades in the Dark, but it is a game about adventure in the Procyon sector, so space opera, heists, high-speed ship battles, all that sort of thing. So I'm joined by our typical crew. Haven't made characters yet. We'll be making characters as part of the session and then jump right into the action. So starting with Jesse, tell us who you are.
Oh, hi, I'm Jesse. I'm Jesse. I love role-playing, and I am happy to be here.
Awesome. Mitchell, tell us about yourself. Hey, you're muted.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was coming. All right, my name is Mitchell. Excited to be here. I already am excited to jump into space and do space things with my space outfits.
It's good to have space outfits when you jump into space.
Exactly. Everyone should have space stuff with space outfits and space things.
So a space outfit is just any kind of outfit, but you're in a sci-fi setting, so you call it a space outfit?
No. You got to specifically go to the store and be like, that's a space outfit. I want that space outfit. And you got to go to the cash register and be like, I would like to purchase this space outfit with my space money.
Perfectly sensible. All right, Josh, tell us who you are.
I'm a podcaster for Tanker Talk and a frequent actual player. And I'm doing a lot of the technical stuff behind the scenes. And I've been hearing about Scum and Villainy for about a year and excited to finally being able to play.
Yeah. Awesome. And Nerdy Nursey, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a brand new player to the tabletop world, but I've kind of I just dived in head first, and so I'm trying to play as many games as I can and learn all the new things that I can, and I'm really excited to play this one.
Awesome. Yeah, so you guys have been looking at some of the character sheets. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So this game is loosely inspired by things like Star Wars, Firefly, Cowboy Bebop, just any kind of high science fiction, space opera type things. And it's based on Blades in the Dark, so it uses the playbook system. So you have sort of character classes that are rough, sort of kind of narrative archetypes that you'd find in this setting. So you guys have had a look at some of those. Let me just kind of run through them a little bit in case you guys want to change your mind or you might get inspired by things. So there's about, 7 or so? And they're all pretty flexible with what you want to do with them. You got the mechanic. This is your hacker, your gearhead, somebody who knows how to fix ships and jury rig things. You got your muscle, who's your tough guy, your big time fighter. They have the biggest guns and they know how to use them. You have your mystic. This is kind of your Jedi type character. In this setting, there is a mysterious force out there called the Way, and the mystic is the one who is most attuned to the Way and its goings on. You have your pilot, which is your ace, your risk taker, the guy who flies the ship, if applicable. You got your scoundrel. This is kind of your Han Solo type. You're gambler. You're the guy who's always lucky, always getting in over his head and somehow getting into and out of trouble. You got your speaker. These are your nobles, usually, but they can be kind of anything you want. They're people who are good at talking to and manipulating people. And you have your Stitch, which is your doctor or your scientist. They're the ones who patch everybody up, research things. They're kind of just the smart person. So do any of those jump out particularly strongly to you guys? I know you've talked a little bit about things you'd like to play.
Well, the whole reason that I agreed to do this game is because you hooked me in on the medic. So I've already committed to the Stitch. So.
All right. That sounds good. What other ideas you guys have?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna fly the bus.
All right, so we got a pilot.
Josh?
I'm feeling the scoundrel kind of rogue type guy.
Shoot first.
And I'm feeling the mechanic.
All right. Great. So you guys all have character sheets in Roll20. At the top where it says playbook, if you type out the name of your playbook, so, scoundrel, Stitch, whatever, it should populate it with the stuff that you need.
So what's mine called? Scoundrel?
Scoundrel, yeah.
You have to spell it right, though.
Yeah.
I know, that's the unfortunate part.
2 O's, the letter Q,
Mhm.
the number 7. And you're
I
good.
managed to do it.
The silent P at the beginning.
Yeah, it's always that silent P.
All right, so I always like to do this last, but the things you have to fill out are like your name, your alias, which it's called different things in different playbooks. I think for pilots, it's called like a call sign, which is kind of neat. Your look, which is just what you look like. And then kind of your heritage, which is where you come from, and your background, which is kind of like your upbringing, like what kind of things you've done. A little bit about this setting. This game takes place in the Procyon sector, which is a sort of like frontier corner of the galaxy. It, like all the rest of the galaxy, is ruled over by the galactic hegemony, which is centered in the sort of core worlds where sort of like the hegemonic control is just locked in. But out here in the Procyon sector, the hold of the hegemonic law is a lot more loose. It's definitely present here, but it's a place where crime and other sort of fringe factions can thrive. So it's a sort of place of lawlessness where there's this struggle of power between criminal syndicates, mystic cults, and the sort of like typical like iron-fisted law and order that you see. So if you see things like Imperial or Colonist in Heritage, that's kind of what that's in reference to. Anybody have a name, look, or heritage?
Yeah, my name is Dark Steven.
Why are you called Dark Steven?
Just, darkness is my friend. It surrounds me and keeps me safe from harm.
I like it.
So I am Rhett, alias Icarus, last name Lafayette. I have some curse words in my look, so I'm not going to say.
All right.
But it is a bad bleep bleep. So
I've got Wynock Harbatkin. His alias is Wino because people leave off the C.
That's great. Is he a wino? We'll get to your vices later on. That's a really cool and a really like key part of the game, actually. But you can decide later.
I'm thinking of him as a teetotaler, but
yeah, I don't see alcoholism under these vices.
You can make your own.
Crippling insecurities.
they just come with the territory.
Yeah, student loan debt.
Yeah, background academic.
Yeah.
If you owe on your student loans, they actually send assassins after you in this world.
Yeah. We're just a bunch of students who've lapsed on our student loans.
It's like a really good job, those guys eat steak.
Yeah, because there's student loans everywhere.
That's why we need to do these jobs, so we can make money to pay off our student loans.
Mm-hmm.
Theft and doing crime.
I'm like, gosh, community college, leave me alone.
I know, I only went for one semester.
I know.
All right, so you guys can think about your heritage. One thing to note, so if you want to be an alien, there's not like a comprehensive list of aliens. It's basically just like make up your own. So the way it works is if you want to just sort of like look alien but sort of function humanly, like that's totally fine. But if you pick Xeno, you have the option of sort of getting an extra special ability with which you can spend stress, which is like a limited in-game currency, to just do something special. So you can kind of make up a Xeno based on whatever you want. So if you want to be like, I want to be like a hyper-rational alien, kind of like Spock. So then you'd have a power about like, like hyper-rationality or some kind of psychic power. Or like, oh, I want to be one that's like super strong like Chewbacca. Then you just say like, okay, you can spend a stress to do like a feat of extreme strength or something like that. It's really just up to you guys if you want to tackle that. And it's like kind of whatever you want. The game has no limitations on the kind of Xeno you can be. And it's just, you get a sort of like free power that just describes like, what defines this alien race? Like, how are they different from humans? And what can they do that maybe humans can't? Backgrounds are pretty straightforward, if you have questions about that. The big thing is vice. So I mentioned stress earlier. So an in-game currency you spend on jobs or missions is stress. And it's a thing you can use to get bonuses to rolls and things, sort of like push yourself to succeed where you would otherwise fail. But it's a thing that runs out, and the only way to get it back is to go home after the mission and indulge your vice. So kind of the obvious thing is, gambling. I think like stupor is one of them. So, going to the cantina and drinking your sorrows away, that sort of thing. But it doesn't have to be like that. There's things like here it mentions faith. So it could be you go to a church or a temple where you worship and you pray. There's luxury, which you go out and spend a bunch of money. Obligation is interesting. It could be you have like a family member that's problematic that causes you trouble. A vice can basically be anything that you have to do regularly that can cause you trouble, because there is a neat mechanic where you can actually overindulge in your vice and cause problems for yourself and the party later on. So it gives suggestions of vices here. You can feel free to make your own and just, make it something that's repeated and problematic.
That sounds very, very familiar.
All right. So you just choose one of the vices. Cool.
Let me know when you guys have other character details you'd like to share.
Oh, okay. So we have to look up the vices.
No, there's nothing to look up. It's just that word, like on the character sheet: faith, gambling, luxury, obligation, pleasure, stupor, weird, or whatever else you want.
Weird that
just
they put obligation as a vice.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. It's something where you have to go off and deal with this now. It could be like, oh, I have a brother who's always getting arrested, so I gotta go bail him out of jail, or I gotta go help him out and try to reform him. It says vice/purveyor, so it's
okay.
Oh wait, purveyor is somebody who gives it to you, right?
I think my vice is that I have to keep uploading. I have like a little stick that's got like my X on it, and I have to keep uploading it into Androids to continue this argument that just goes on forever.
Is your ex not alive anymore, or?
I think we don't know, but she's not currently available to me.
That sounds like a good obligation or something. So you have this relationship that you keep going back to.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Don't we all?
I like that.
So I guess I really like to be able to be an alien. So I think I'm gonna pick a Xeno heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely have that. I want an academic background because I want that to be how I'm able to fix people.
Mm-hmm.
Where I got my skills from. I also think, I guess, my alien heritage is we excel at healing. Like, we can tell when people are sick, and our kind are just skilled healers.
That's interesting. So do you have sort of insight into the biological workings of organisms that others don't?
I would say yeah. Basically, because each alien is different, that all of the workings of the different aliens and the different species have kind of been passed down and taught in my culture. And so, I know that this particular species has two hearts, or, what kind of things would this, like a human, be at risk for, and what type of things that they can withstand and what things that they can't. So
yeah, that's cool.
That would have been part of my education as well. And I think also I have a more uncanny ability to tell if somebody is hurt or that somebody needs my help.
Yeah, let's make an ability. We'll call it something like uncanny medical insight, and you can spend 2 stress to gain uncanny medical insight into someone or something.
And so I think that will play into my vice as well, and I'll choose obligation for my vice because I am obligated if that sort of insight is triggered and I'm like, this person needs help, then I'm obligated to help someone who needs it, regardless of like that puts me in a bad spot or that affects my well-being or something.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cool. I'm curious what your Xeno sort of looks like and what they're called, but let's go to somebody else. Jesse, what are you thinking for heritage, background, or vice?
Heritage spacer, background military family. I'm the black sheep. I quit the military, and now my family shuns me. And my vice is updating the ship.
Interesting. What do you mean by updating? Are you like fine-tuning things and calibrating everything obsessively?
Trying to make it faster, trying to make it, I don't know what we decided. We haven't decided on what sort of ship we're going to get, but trying to make it perform better. Always tweaking, and yes.
So fans
probably could be disastrous.
Fans of Mass Effect would say you're doing calibrations. There's an in-joke of a character who's always like tweaking things, and he's like, I need to do some calibrations.
Right.
Yeah.
I need to do some calibrations.
What background did you choose?
Military.
Nice.
Cool. So you're ex-military now.
Ex-military, yeah. My brother is still in the military, and I hate him for it, and he hates me for not being in it. And he's like the mommy and daddy's favorite, and I'm like, screw you.
That's cool. Let's say that you were in the 51st Legion, which is a faction in the game.
Okay, I want to be in that too. I'm like his friend from being in that.
All right.
Cool.
I'm like the cool guy, you know? He's like really dark and like moody. Not like almost like space goth kind of thing. Or like yeah, maybe Max from Robotech.
All right, I have an idea for your look now. Space goth.
Yeah, that's what I was going for too.
And that's why we're all together on our gothy shit.
You guys should like own a club or something.
Oh, dude. Please, can we own a club?
We'll talk about it.
So, I mean, you can't really tell, but I'm wearing like a little.
Oh yeah, skeleton shirt.
I got my space goth on.
Is it so you can reference the bones of the body with your shirt?
Yeah, it's like I have X-ray vision even to myself.
Awesome. All right. So the next step is to choose a starting ability. So
oh snap! Hold on! You skipped me.
Mitchell. Sorry.
Whoa! All right. So for my heritage, I have spacer. So I've always lived in space and such. And so my background is noble, and my luxury or my vice is luxury. So I've been pretty well off my whole life. I probably hang out with you guys for funs and kind of just so I can go back to my friends and be like, yeah, I hang out with some like bad goths, so it's pretty cool. You know?
You're in it
just
just for the rep.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and for luxury, I have to kind of like I like to indulge in like hip hop and rap and such. So when I get back to the cities and stuff like that, I listen to old school music like The Weeknd and Childish Gambino.
And what kind of we might not let you play that on the ship. Like that's
so your vice is going hunting for like old school records and
yeah,
that's pretty neat. You're kind of like a music archaeologist.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh my gosh, is that One Direction? I gotta have that.
What?
Exactly.
I wonder if vinyl
players. Yes, we're only going one direction.
God.
All right. So anybody else got details for these starting things, including vice? Josh, what is your character's vice?
My vice is having an argument with my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, right.
It never ends.
That's so great.
That is so funny. I think that classifies as weird.
Yeah.
When I saw weird, I was like, oh, what might that be?
I think you nailed it right there.
This is perfect for me.
Sorry, guys, I'll be back.
All right, so if you scroll down on the sheet, you'll see that everybody has a starting ability. So for instance, the Scoundrel, your crew starts with +1 Gambit. So Gambits are kind of like it's a thing we'll talk about when we make the ship. It's just what are they called? It's a resource that anybody can spend to add dice, and it's like a pool that everybody has, and you get them back from taking risky actions. So note that, and then Under special abilities, pick one. And I think if you click it, it will tick the little box. Let me know if you have questions about things. You don't need to know all the mechanics of it. Just like if it seems like it fits your character idea, go with it.
All right.
And if you don't know which one to pick, the first one under special abilities is usually like a good choice. It's kind of like a well-rounded option. So who's got a special ability they're interested in?
Oh my gosh, I like all of them. I don't.
Yeah, from what you described, it really fits the stitch.
I'm somewhere between baling wire and mech tape and junkyard hunter.
Exceed specs and leaf on the wind.
Leaf on the wind, yeah.
I'm afraid of that because I fear what comes after.
Is your character redheaded?
No, so that's at least good.
I like the idea of being welcome anywhere. That while I'm wearing my garb, I can.
Yeah, that's pretty useful.
I'm gonna be a leaf on the wind.
Nice.
Junkyard hunter.
I guess I'll do Daredevil.
What does that give you?
When you make a desperate roll, you may take +1 die. If you do so, do not mark XP in that action's attribute.
Interesting.
So I get to pick one of those, eh?
Yeah. So normally when you roll a desperate action, you get experience within the kind of like type of action that you do. So if you like make a desperate doctor roll, you get an experience in insight. If you make a desperate helm roll, you get experience in prowess. But you have the option to forego that experience to get an extra die on that roll, which is pretty cool.
So I take chances, but I don't learn.
Perfect.
That's never happened.
I showed a lot of skill as a pilot and stuff like that. They thought I was one of the best, but I did not apply myself, and I soon got involved in all kinds of like doing jobs and things like that.
Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, I also like so there's moral compass, which is something I'm supposed to be for the crew as well, which is helpful. And it says when I do the right thing at a cost to myself, I mark XP, so I gain XP. And since that goes along with my vice, like my vice is I'm obligated to do the right thing at a cost to myself or help someone in need at cost to myself, I guess with that I can indulge my vice and gain XP.
Yeah, so keep in mind though, so indulging your vice it's kind of like an off-camera thing most of the time. Problems can come up, but keep in mind that it's do the right thing at cost to yourself. So there has to be some actual cost. So
doing the right thing.
If you want it to be really problematic that you're always doing that, like that's awesome. But just know that like it's going to be costly, but you'll get experience for it.
I mean, it might come at odds with the rest of the party.
Yeah.
And the job.
You also get, I mean, there's a thing at the very bottom. At the end of every session, you mark XP depending on how you did stuff. And if anybody struggles with issues from their vices during the mission, they get XP. So if you sort of like cause problems for yourself, you can get XP that way.
Jeez, I do that all the time.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, personally.
That's not great.
I think I'm gonna do welcome anywhere. I want to be able to get in. I don't want to have any problems getting in.
Yeah, that's a good starting ability. You'll get a lot of use out of that.
Oh, if I need to.
Oh, if you guys need example names in the, do you guys have the PDF of the playbooks?
Yeah.
Villainy character sheets. On the very first page, there's like a bunch of names and aliases where it says character creation. Anybody else got a special ability they'd like to share?
I mean, I'm a leaf on the wind. When I push myself, I can spend a +1 stress, so 3 stress total, to gain both +1 effect and +1 die instead of one or the other.
Awesome.
Junkyard hunter. When I acquire, when I acquire parts and equipment during downtime, I may gain either 2 assets or 1 asset at +1 quality.
That's cool. So you're good at scrounging up stuff and coming up with valuable things.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. All right, so up next, you'll see the sort of skills at the right. These are called, what are they called? Actions, I guess. So some of these are already filled out, and they're slightly different for each character. So for instance, like the Stitch starts with, I think, 1 or 2 in Doctor. So you can add 4 starting from the left, going right to any of these, but you can't go over 2 starting off. So for a Stitch, you can't add like a 3rd one to get Doctor to 3, but you can add others always starting from the left.
Where are these actions?
This is on the Roll20 character sheet on the far right.
So this is under Insight, Prowess, and Resolve, right?
Yeah, under each of those things. So Doctor, Hack, Rig, Study, Helm, Scramble, Scrap, Skulk, and Attune, Command, Consort, Sway.
Dr. Hack.
Let's see. Are any of these? So Rig, so some of these are pretty self-explanatory, like Doctor is doing Doctor stuff, Hacking is hacking computers. Rig is like, jury rigging stuff. It's doing the more mechanical side. Study is kind of like knowing things, but also learning things, studying your enemy, things like that. Helm is piloting a ship or anything else. Scramble is running away. That can take a lot of different forms, but it's just getting out of dodge. Scrap is fighting in like an outright obvious battle. Skulk is sneaking around. Attune is attuning to the way. So this is kind of like your psychic or your force stat. Command is giving people orders. Consort is, sway is like sort of persuading people. Consort is this kind of weird in between where it's sort of blending in socially. So it's presenting yourself as something and like getting people to like you. It's kind of like doing well at a party, like going around talking to people, that's Consort. It's a little more broad than sort of something specific like Command or Sway.
Like just being in general, like.
Yeah, so Consort is like,
person.
Yeah, like blending in at a party, not standing out. If you're trying to like convince a bunch of dock workers to give you information, being like, oh, I was a dock worker too. It's kind of like getting people to believe that you're like them, kind of. Let me see if there's better examples. Not doing the best at describing it.
I don't know. I think you did a pretty good job.
All right.
I think I understand. What was Helm?
So Helm is piloting stuff. Ships, vehicles. Yeah. Yeah, so when you consort, you socialize with friends and contacts. You might gain access to resources, information, people, or places. Make a good impression or win someone over with your charm and style. Make new friends, connect with your heritage or background. Yeah, so it's like the get friends or, make your friends help you out type of thing.
So do we add points to these?
Yeah, so you have, from your playbook, you have some ticked already, but add 4 more ticks to whatever you want, starting from the left.
But we don't add them to, we add them to Insight, Prowess, and Resolve, or we add them to the things beneath?
To like each of the individual ones. So like Doctor, Rig, Hack, or Study, like the little triangular ticks. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what's Scramble again?
So Scramble is running away. So this is running away not necessarily on your feet. It could also be like if you're piloting a ship and, a bunch of other bigger ships are shooting at you and you're like, we need to get to hyperspace now. Like that could be a scramble roll. It could be also like, you're under fire and you're trying to get to cover. That could be scramble. It's just like the getting away stat.
And we have a certain number that we can add to these?
So you can add 4 more ticks to things.
All right.
So, you could add, 2. And you can't go higher than 2. So you could make 2 that are at 0 at 2. You could add 1 to 4 different ones. Just add 4 ticks anywhere you like, starting from the left.
It lets me add more than that,
but do not. Have to be a good scoundrel.
So, yeah, I added some. So it looks like I'm best at scrambling, getting out of there.
Nice.
And scrapping and skulking. I'm not good at any of the Insight things. But I can consort and I can sway.
That's cool. So another thing is that each of these sort of umbrella stats, insight, prowess, and resolve, those stats are equal to, like, you see the vertical line under each of them, of which there's like one tick. How do I describe this?
Yeah, we can see it. I have the screen up actually, so
Yeah,
people can
so
look at
if when you add, so like, let's see. Josh, what's your character's name?
My character is up on the
Mark's
screen
there,
right
there we
now. Yeah, he's up on the screen.
Yeah. All right. So like right now you're in, so you sum the things vertically. So right now your prowess is 3 because you have like 3 ticks vertically, and your resolve is 2 because you have 2 ticks vertically, and your insight is 0. Does that make sense?
Well, but I have 4 ticks vertically.
Only to the left of the line.
Oh, to the left of the line. Yes.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that comes into resisting things. We'll get into it, but whenever I say, "Hey, this happened to you," you can roll to resist and say, "No, it doesn't." And just trying to roll to resist dictates that no, it doesn't. But then you roll to see how much stress you take, and you roll one of those types of stats.
Okay.
All right, cool. Everybody got their new 4 ticks in their action dots.
And so we can have 2, but we can't have 3, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I've got my 4. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh wait, Josh, you can't have 3 in scramble. You can only go up to 2.
Oh, let me fix that.
Oh, you can see all of ours. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I got mine.
All right. What kind of stuff are you guys best at?
Hacking and rigging.
Makes sense.
I'm going to do command then with my other one.
Makes sense. You're in the military.
Maybe
All right,
I don't
so-
need 2 in consort if I have 2 in sway. What's a tune again?
Attune is attuning to the way, so it's the like force sensitivity
Oh,
stat.
no, screw that. And then helm. Helm is what?
Piloting stuff.
Helm, you're already good at that, right? Icarus?
Oh yeah.
I used to be a pilot, but now that I fly with Icarus, I'm pretty rusty.
Interesting.
But it's good to have some backup skill.
Yeah.
Well, all right, I'll put 1 in helm. No, and if nobody else has helm?
I almost did.
No.
I got scramble and scrap instead.
I'll put 1 in helm.
So
Although,
many.
and then I'll take 1 away from consort.
Cool. All right, everybody good with their action dots?
I believe so.
I hope I didn't spend too many,
But
but
I
will the
just
ship...
get like he has
Huh?
hold on. He has 11 and I only have 7. Is that
You should have 7.
7 total.
okay?
Does that sound right?
Yep.
Let's see.
Because you get your 3 from your initial archetype, and then you get a plus
Right.
4
Okay, so I have
with nothing higher than 2.
Okay. Yeah,
So I
Josh, you got a few too many. Take
you have 11.
You paid the GM for extra points.
I didn't add any to sculpt. Is there any way I can reset it?
okay, well let me see. Let me see what your starting action dots are so you don't like negate that.
Because I wasn't looking to the left of the line at first.
Yeah, for Scoundrel, he has 1 in Skulk and 2 in Sway.
Yeah. So just start with that and add 4 to those.
So I don't have any of the rest of them. Oh, you
Correct.
know what? I hit the second tier instead of the first tier. So
Oh.
you say I should start with 1 in skulk and 2 in sway?
Yep.
Correct.
So I get to add 4?
Yep.
All right, I'll add scrap, scramble, command. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should be good now.
Looks good. All right, so underneath that, there's a section that's called different things for you guys. It is your sort of your ally and rival. So for instance, the Scoundrel, it's called friends. I think some it's called contacts. So these are just a list of people and a description like Nyx, a moneylender, Aura, an info broker. Choose one to be your friend and one to be your rival. And for your friend, mark the arrow up. For your rival, mark the arrow down. And think about why your friends are rivals with these people.
I'm friends with a bounty hunter.
Batro. How do you know Batro?
Well, because I flew him around a bit when he was tracking down students who hadn't paid their student loans.
Is this after you left the military?
Yeah, that's probably why I left the military. And then I'll say that my enemy is the information broker, from which I took the download chip for my ex.
Interesting.
We probably have a mystery to solve regarding that.
Yeah.
To free her.
That's interesting.
I'm going to say I am friends with Villainy, a hospital admin.
Is that on the sheet? That's great.
Yeah, they're all different.
Because I want to kind of get connections in higher places, so I want to be buddies with the admin because they're the ones who can enact change and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna say I'm rivals with another doctor because they think that they're better than me and they're not.
Cool.
Yeah, so for Rhett, oh crap, where am I? I have Yatu, a gang boss, who is my friend and ally. He's a noble as well, who has like this very sophisticated gang. And he's actually the person who kind of set me on this path because I looked at what he was doing and I thought that was super exciting.
So you're following in his footsteps.
And my rival is Choss, a professional racer. He and I get together many times during the month to race and bet money, and yeah, we don't like each other.
Cool.
Definitely trying to kill each other, but no one can prove it.
Interesting.
Me, Slice, a junkyard owner, is my best friend. Because he feeds my addiction. And my enemy is Ken, my brother, a family member.
Interesting.
He's in the military.
Oh.
Still.
Yeah, he's like a big-headed old blowhard.
Exactly.
I don't like him either.
Why are you always tinkering with things? You should be shooting things instead.
Yeah, you should. Get off my ship.
Yeah, I really love how there's a lot of flexibility in what it means to be a rival. It could mean somebody is out for your blood, or it could be somebody who irritates you, you know, but you have to deal with anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's the same thing. Especially when the family is involved.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you guys already have your vices. So we're all done with character creation. We'll move on to ship creation in a minute. But if you haven't chosen, choose your name, alias, and look. Do you guys have cool aliases?
My name is my alias.
Dark Steven.
I don't even remember my real name anymore, but you know it could be Steven.
Icarus. Icarus is mine.
So my name is too like alien for humans to like comprehend and pronounce and say.
Cthulhu Fatagan.
I go by, everyone calls me my alias, which is the first thing they notice when they saw me, and it also comes from the ancient word for the ancient slang term for a physician in their culture, which is sawbones. And when they saw me, they could see that my bones were like visible, so everybody calls me Bones.
Cool. Yeah, so tell me what your Xeno species looks like.
So I'm gonna keep with this sort of look where the bones are actually on the surface and provide sort of an exoskeleton type protective layer. and they are similar to some human anatomy, but not quite the same. And I have like a purple tint to like the shiny sinew and muscle and skin that you can see, and purple like squigglies, which can kind of be like hair.
Tentacles.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Tentacles. I mean bones.
All right, so up next we pick a ship. So this is a little bit more than just picking a ship. It's kind of choosing the tone of the game and what you guys want to do. I think if you click character mode on your sheet, it switches to a ship sheet, but I also have in Roll20 like examples of the ship sheets. So there are 3 ships. There's the Star Dancer, which is a smuggling ship. This is like a fast ship that you can get out of dodge with quickly. And crews who pick this ship usually do jobs around smuggling. So like extraction, getting to places quick, getting away from stuff. It doesn't really have guns. It's not really about open combat. It's more about kind of more about like sneaking around and being over your head and getting out of dodge. Kind of like your Millennium Falcon type deal. So there's the Cerberus, which is a bounty hunting ship. So it has a little bit more guns. It's made for tracking people down and taking them out non-lethally, and you have a lot of abilities based around that. It's you also have kind of like when you play Cerberus, you have kind of like almost like government sponsorship. Like you kind of have a reason to be there because you're a bounty hunter, right? You're on the kind of fringe between criminality and legality. So that's something that you can leverage for your benefit and can cause trouble at times. And then there's the Fire Drake, which is like a warship. So this is we want to take on the galactic hegemony. We want to be freedom fighters. It's all about, it has the biggest guns. It's the toughest. And you have powers based around not just like, blowing up hegemonic ships, but also like getting people to sympathize with your cause and getting them over to your side. So crews who do this engage more of the politics of the Procyon sector and sort of fight more directly in the type of war. And this is like the most confrontational. You kind of think of these as like confrontational and violence from the Star Dancer from the least down to the Fire Drake to the most. So what do you guys think? What are you interested in doing as a crew?
I just like the middle ship the most because it looks the coolest.
I like the Star Dancer. I like the can get away.
I kind of like the Star Dancer too, because I'm not sure. I'm not a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Star Dancer because it implies we'll be doing crime.
That's good. Pilots are actually pretty helpful in the Star Dancer too. I played a pretty long game in which occasionally the pilot player wasn't there, and then it's like, what do we do? We're all about like getting out of dodge in a ship. So it will definitely have a lot for the pilot to do in the Star Dancer. And
let's do it.
You'll notice on the bottom in the advancements, you can choose veteran advances, so you can take advances from the other one as well. But just starting off, you sort of like put what's the expression? You put your core abilities around this sort of thing. So it sounds like you guys want the Star Dancer?
Yeah.
All right. Always a good choice. All right, yeah. Smuggling blockade runners looking to do odd jobs, small thefts, find lost items.
Can we get one gun on it somehow to start? Or
yeah, you can get a gun on it. It doesn't start by default. I think we'll get to picking upgrades, but you're not totally defenseless.
We're not just going to roll down the windows and shoot.
I don't even care if it's like a gun that was jury rigged or like a real gun.
That can be arranged.
It's a pistol we've taped to the side, and we have a little string we can pull to make it shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
all right,
bam, bam.
So your ship is not just a thing that you drive around, it's also kind of a symbol of you as a crew and your operation. So it's assumed that you guys are an existing crew and you have done stuff in the past. And we have some stuff to get to as to like what you've done in the past. But the next step is choosing a reputation. So what reputation has the crew generated in the different factions of the sector? So you can choose one or make up your own, and there's some examples here. There's like ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, strange, subtle. So we talked about your characters as individuals, but as a group, what do you guys think you'd be like?
I think y'all weird.
Strange.
So we're probably strange.
Yeah, this is
Weird.
definitely a strange group.
Yeah, Rhett's like the coolest one here, and he's just hanging with you. You guys are weird.
You think you're the coolest one here, but
Yeah,
I know I'm the
exactly.
coolest one.
I go back to my nobles. I'm like,
Yes.
man, these guys.
All right, reputation strange. That's interesting. All right, so we get to customize our ship. Your ship begins with 2 cred in its hold and a few pre-selected ship systems. So there's a little cred thing, if you guys can see. I think we can paint on this. So you get 2 cred. So a cred is it's like a lot of money. It's like a month's wages. So the game largely abstracts credits. Like if you want to buy something small like a blaster, like you can just do it. It doesn't really care. Cred is just like a big chunk of money that you can use to buy like a small vehicle or something like that. You can choose 2 additional ship systems to improve. Your choices are engines, hull, comms, or weapons. You can instead improve crew quality, but it'll cost your starting 2 cred. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but crew quality is kind of just like how well known and resourceful you are, and it's something that doesn't have a like obvious benefit, but it's something that kind of like will blanket affect a lot of roles in a vague way. So the other things are like make the engines faster. It has like suggested things here, so you can get like fake transponders, afterburners for your engines, get some type of weapon.
Now,
Are you guys interested?
do we already have a fake transponder?
Let's see. No, you have the things that are shaded in. Let's see. So you have smuggling compartments and a cargo hold. You have a jump drive, which I'm not sure what a jump drive does.
It lets us jump.
Yeah.
Literally.
So in this setting, it's sort of just a few solar systems around a sector, and the way to get to faster than light speed is to go through gates, of which there is one on the cover of the book. And these gates are things that were not created by humans or any other known Xenos. They were just sort of found, and people don't exactly know how they work. They know enough to be able to use them and occasionally repair them, but there's some precursor technology that people don't fully understand. So that's how you get from system to system through gates. Additionally, the precursors are called like the or just the precursors. Nobody knows what happened to them, but they have ruins of precursor artifacts in places, and these ruins or like the artifacts therein are usually just extremely technologically advanced to the point that it's basically magic. But back to your ship.
Where are the weapons listed?
Yeah, we have, if you have the PDF with the ships, it is somewhere in there.
I feel like we should get a fake transponder and weapons.
Page 11 to 12 of the Scum and Villainy character sheets and other play aids.
Oh. Wasn't even looking in that.
And then for specifically start answer options like ship papers, smuggler's rigging, lucky charm, that's on page 12. Let's see, what was that you suggested, Josh?
I think we should get fake transponder and then weapons. I don't know how many upgrade points we have.
Let's see. I think 2 you can pick.
That would be
so
my
you can
vote.
Spend your cred on these. Oh, no, sorry. You don't spend your cred. You just choose 2.
What do others think?
I agree
I'm
with
looking at
Josh.
that sexy afterburners. Afterburners. I mean, do we really want to fight? Let's just get out of Dodge.
Yeah,
We want to leave
afterburners
them with something, though. We want to leave them with something.
Well, let's leave them with our dust, our space dust.
There's some fun weapons suggested here. So there's Coherence Cannon, which is a capital weapon, 1 shot only until repaired or recharged on smaller ships than dreadnoughts. Wow. So it's a giant weapon that you can shoot like once. Grappling hooks, pretty self-explanatory, latching onto asteroids and netting cargo. A mining drill, vicious close-range, high-powered energy drill, which is a huge drill in the front of your ship. Missiles, projected with mounted drive, not legal, and particle cannons. Pew pew, usually fixed in one direction.
I like the grappling hook.
Kind of goes with the smuggling stuff.
We could use it as a weapon.
You guys like that one?
I'm not against having a grappling hook.
I could go for it. All right, so that's one.
I don't know what to pick. There's so many things.
Yeah, the ship stuff is a little bit overwhelming, but it's like it's not mechanical stuff. Basically, all the mechanical impact it has is written there, which is usually just flavor.
Cloaking device.
Some Romulans.
I just definitely want to like get in, do my thing, get out, make sure nobody gets hurt.
We like secretly provide health care.
Yeah.
Shuttle.
Somebody mentioned fake transponder, right?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Fake transponder.
I'd be cool with fake transponder and grappling hook.
This system can broadcast a different ship signal or play a powerful recording or sensor echoes.
Ooh.
So you can essentially have a signal come from somewhere else.
And we can also pretend to be a different type of ship than we are.
Yeah.
We could just play the greatest hits of the weekend.
I guess you could do that too.
Yeah.
All right, you guys want to go with that?
Yeah.
And you can of course get more as we move on. All right, after you decide what you improve, the GM will tell you about a faction that helps you get those improvements. They did you a favor. How did you respond? All right. So there's a whole big list of factions, which I can pull up if you guys want to see it. It's just kind of like suggested things. We talked about one faction so far, which is the 51st Legion. Let's see. Other ones you guys might be interested in. I think, Mitchell, your character had an enemy who was a racer. There's a, what are they called? The Echo Wave Riders is like a small gang of racers who, well, their goal is to sort of like get more people into their gang, and so they can have a galaxy-wide like race fest across the entire Procyon sector. Just kind of, young thrill seekers.
Those young people don't know what they're doing.
Let's see, what else?
Why are there ghosts? Are there ghosts?
So the ghosts, the ghosts are scientists who were experimenting with precursor technology, and it made them phase half into this dimension and half out. So they are all together on a ship that is together sort of like half phased into this dimension, and they're trying to figure out how to get fully back. So they can sort of pop in and out of existence, and as they appear sort of ghostly. The Mendicants are like a semi-religious order of medics and sort of like spiritual healers. They used to be a big force in the galaxy, but they're centuries old, but their sort of order has declined to the point that it's kind of something that people remember and know about, but they don't really have much political power anymore.
Let's get like the worst people.
The worst people? All right, we got some bad people. Let's see, we have the Lost Legion, which are a bunch of military defectors. We got the Scarlet Wolves, which are like a just sort of like a brutal gang dealing with assassinations.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
This is our crew? Is that what we're doing?
No, these are factions which you guys can have ties from. So you guys got your ship upgrades from someone, and we're deciding who. You guys can also make up factions as well.
Could we have stolen them from them?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, word.
That's fun.
From the 51st Legion.
I like that.
Let's do it.
The 51st Legion, yeah, the military unit. This is their
yeah.
jacket.
Yeah, you can totally do that.
He even stole their jacket.
And he took the jacket.
Hey, you can't be a scoundrel without like a dope jacket. The jacket is so important.
No, actually, Twitch went down to it.
Oh no!
Yeah, we were down for a bit,
But you're back now.
but we're back now.
No.
We were talking about how you need a dope jacket if you're gonna have a ship.
I don't think we're up though.
It says we are streaming, but let me reload.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're up.
Okay.
All right. So it seems pretty clear you got your ship upgrades by stealing it from the 51st Legion, so you'll take -1 status to them starting off.
Sounds
We are
good.
offline again.
Oh.
So I want to start, since we're offline, I want to start the stream with the correct freaking name. Okay, now it's right.
There's an echo from you, Josh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not hearing it.
Testing
I
1,
hear
2,
it.
3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it's echoey.
That shouldn't be happening.
It doesn't sound that way to me. It doesn't sound echoey to me.
Maybe if... Let me try to refresh.
I'm going to have to restart the stream anyway.
Yeah. I wonder why you sound echoey to me. I don't have you anywhere
And
else.
as soon as I hit stop, the video came back.
The boys are back in town. Oh. We're back.
We're back.
Back? All right.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so we concluded that you guys stole your ship upgrades from the 51st Legion, and they're not happy about it. So you start with -1 status with them.
Yay.
All right, up next you get to choose a special ability for your ship. These are all listed in the sort of the gray box on the right.
I like the getaway.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Yep, it's like the paradigm of smuggler ships. This is where you say punch it and you get out of dodge.
Yeah.
All right, everyone's cool with that. I think that's good. You can, of course, get other ones later. All right, let's see. Each ship, so next up is assign upgrades. Each ship starts with pre-selected upgrades well suited to the crew, such as a galley for the Star Dancer or the brig for the Cerberus. In addition to those upgrades, pick 2 more. Details on the following handouts. You can pick any 2 boxes, but be aware that some, like shields, cost 2 upgrades in order to select.
False ship papers?
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I like that.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say too. Because I think in the event that we can't get away or we need to get in somewhere, we need to be able to use those.
Power reserves?
Let's see, where are you guys seeing false ship papers? I remember
Crew ship upgrades.
Yeah. You can also, over here are ones you can pick too, but yeah, false ship paper sounds good. You get 1 more. On page 13 tells you what each of them do. So false ship papers is pretty, well-forged documents giving your crew identities that are less wanted in any system. So dark hyperspace lanes. So I mentioned the gates before. So hyperspace lanes are the sort of, they're not a physical thing. They're just sort of like a area of space that's been calculated out for ships to travel through. So because space is big and empty, but it can also be dangerous, you can get like stuck in a star as well or something, or have like debris or something hit you. Hyperspace lanes are like a safe way to navigate space. And if you get dark hyperspace lanes, then you can navigate in ways that other people don't know about.
Oh.
So it's a way to avoid capture or to like meet up with people off the grid.
That would be useful.
There's also Lucky Charm, which can just be whatever you want. It can be an artifact or some mementos, and it gives you +1 gamut for every job. So gamuts are those points you can spend to get extra. Oh, that costs 2 upgrades though.
If we choose that, they'll always be after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with lane maps.
All right, that one's pretty cool too.
Oh, so we picked 2?
Yeah. So you guys want false ship papers and dark hyperspace lane maps?
Aye.
Sure.
Aye.
All right, so now I'll tell you, one faction helped you get an upgrade and you're on good terms, and one faction got screwed over when you got them.
So is that faction that got screwed over, we already picked them, that 51st Legion?
Let's see, you can pick them again if you want, or you can pick others.
Oh, I didn't know if that was the one.
No, so it's kind of up to us to decide. So let's see. Are you guys interested in like what kind of things are you interested in? So there's 3 general categories of factions. There's like hegemony, which is like military and government, criminal syndicates, which are criminals and gangs, and then there's weirdness, which are like cults, like fringe scientists, xenos, that type of thing. What kind of like area of faction are you most interested in?
So I think we definitely love the weirdness, and I think we definitely hate the imperial hegemony, like soldier type military people.
Yeah, down with the 51st Legion, up with the weirdos.
Yep.
All right. So some weirdos. The Sahir are a very important sort of Xeno group that humans don't really know much about them. They're important in the hegemony because they provided the technology for communications between systems. And so because of that, the hegemony puts up with them. But they're these sort of like weird, like robe-clad aliens that have like slave races that serve them. There's also a group of scientists called the Sun Eaters, which are dead set on making a device which can consume the power of a sun. There's the Agony, which is a sort of religious order that implants way creatures into their, not really body, but like into their soul to gain powers. And they're called the Agony because of the intense pain they endure to do it. There's the Ashtari cults, which worship a nebula in a nearby system, and they always carry around little vials of this gas nebula, which they inhale, which they believe gives them powers. They also claim that they're descendant of the precursor race.
Wait, we love these guys.
Yeah? You like the Ashtari cult?
Yeah. I think Wino likes them too.
Likes to laugh at them.
Yeah, but they're fun to hang out with.
Okay, yeah. You got me there. Can I inhale some of that?
All right, I like it. All right, so yeah, so what are you guys' ties to them? Have you done jobs with them? Do you just sort of like to hang out with them?
I don't like them.
But we like to hang out with them.
We've probably recovered stuff for them.
And they always pay in nebula gas.
I've probably treated them and they've inhaled too much nebula gas.
I like it. All right, so you
You're
start off
druggies.
with +1 status with them. They generally like you at your option, and they also helped you get one of these ship upgrades. At your option, you can spend 1 cred to pay them back and get +2 status if you like. Do you want to keep the cred or get more status with them?
Keep the cred.
All right. Another faction was screwed over when you got an upgrade. They don't like you, and you get -2 status. Do you guys want to stack the 51st Legion or divide it out to some of the other ones? Other important ones are House Malclaith, which they are the sort of noble house that's in charge of the Procyon sector. They have a very weak grip on it, but they're sort of supposed to be the law and order here. And their sort of lord, Ritom Malclaith, was given the Procyon sector as a punishment for his various failings. So
Definitely.
they're a house which is supposed to be law and order, but they have a very weak grip on power, and they're very eager to sort of get that back.
I feel like I don't want to be. I feel like I'd like to be friends with them.
All
Yeah,
right.
'cause I feel like we could manipulate them pretty easily if we weren't.
Yeah, we're all nobles here.
Since they have such a, they want to do anything to regain this power. Since they have this grip.
What about the Concordiant Knights?
Yeah, so those are, so you see there's a column here for tier. This is kind of like the strength and influence of the factions. It goes from 5, I think at the most, to 1. So Concordant Knights are pretty small. They're a motley group of like individuals
Fascists.
who are on a holy quest to recover something for the Church of the Stellar Flame. I forget what it's called. I think it's called something like the Light of the World. It's this mythical ancient artifact that is supposed to have immense power. So they're a really small motley crew, but they sort of are kind of on a holy quest to recover this thing. Kind of like the Knights looking for
Sorry, I was going to say a good one might be the House Malkoas.
Malclaith.
Yeah, because it's like it says it's like powerful noble house that owns the sector. We probably don't like them.
Well, they're the ones who have the weak grip on power. I thought we do like them.
Oh, that's them. Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to, burn any bridges with the criminal syndicates.
So the hegemonic counterintelligence agency and spy group Starless Veil is directly at odds with that House Malclaith.
That sounds like fun.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
we could probably piss them off.
Yeah, you'll notice the Starless Veil is a higher tier than House Malclaith. So even though Malclaith is like supposed to be in charge here, the Starless Veil has enough resources from outside this sector to have more influence.
Yeah, so we could probably take down the bigger guy, the little guy.
Yeah. Do you want to have screwed over the Starless Veil? I like it. It's bold.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have like a description of them? I think you just read it.
Yeah, it says Starless Veil, hegemonic counterintelligence and spies, currently at odds with House Malkuth. They seek to undermine the governor in order to make a case for change in House control.
All right.
And so if we can undermine them, we can make the change in House control.
Sounds like a good option. You guys want to go with it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they take a -2 status. At your option, you can spend 1 credit to make it a -1 instead. So how did you screw these guys over?
So we screwed them over in how our ship was built, right?
So just when you got these upgrades, they were screwed over. So it could be that you did a job for a rival faction that disadvantaged them. It could be that you stole it from them, or anything else you can come up with.
So since they are the counterintelligence and spy agencies, they would be the ones where we would get these materials, these false ship papers, since they're the spy group.
That makes sense.
These dark hyperspace lane maps, because they would need to know how to get there to be all sneaky and things like that. So maybe we took all these from them, and now they can't be as sneaky and counterintelligence spy-like because we have those resources.
Yeah, and somehow that also involved the information broker.
Yeah,
that is my enemy.
So is he part of the Starless Veil?
No, but he does work for them, and we made him look bad.
I like it.
All for a few credits.
Awesome. All right, we got that. So now, much like your own sheet, you have a favored contact among your contact for your crew. This is... Oh, is it on the sheet somewhere? Oh yeah, contacts right here. So these are all people that you know, but one of them is your favorite. So there's Takala, a dockmaster, Aelor, a keen-eared barkeep, Heiani, a tugboat captain, Raka, a diplomat, or Sianti, a reclusive info broker. So which of these contacts are you most close with?
I vote for either Allure, the keen-eared barkeep, or Katani, the reclusive info broker.
Yeah, Katani for me.
So Katani being an info broker, that means we still have to pay, right?
Yep.
Well, that sucks.
They might contact us first.
Yeah, I guess if they're a favored contact, they might give us a discount or more for less.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go with them too, especially because that would probably undermine our. It would undermine the counterintelligence group, probably.
I like it. All right, so one faction is also friendly with this contact. You get +1 status with them. A reclusive info broker. Is this somebody associated with a criminal syndicate, or with a hegemony, or with a cult?
Criminal syndicate, I say.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So we have the what's a good one?
So it could be the Vorax. We're still looking at factions, right?
Yeah.
So it could be the Vorax, or it could be Vorax, because he is the most successful information broker to ever live. Or she is.
Mm-hmm.
So Satani might be like a disciple or an apprentice for Vorax.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're both information brokers. I mean, Satani's not as successful and can't access any terminal in the system, but that's how we know. That's the connection.
Other good choices would be the Borneo Syndicate, who are sort of like tech thieves. So they steal like prototype tech, kind of like your Mission Impossible type thieves. If you want something a little more scrappy, you have the Wreckers, which are a bunch of scavengers. They're pretty low tier, but they have like a big ruined, essentially kind of like a Star Destroyer that they're trying to fix up. Let's see, what else? The Cobalt Syndicate is like a labor union that's dabbling in crime as it tries to fight for workers' rights.
As you do.
Yeah. All right, what do you guys think?
I like the last one. Yeah, where they're like fighting the kind of freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cobalt Syndicate.
All right. So you gain plus
Cobalt
one
D.
for them. One faction is unfriendly with Sitani. Who might that be?
The
And that
hegemonic news network.
That's
Yeah.
a good choice. That makes perfect sense, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I like that one. So let's do -1 with that.
She outs them.
Sometimes she knows the news before they do, and sometimes she knows when they're not being entirely truthful or
Did
when
I do
they're
that?
embellishing.
I didn't just do that, did I?
I don't know.
Move the thing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't mess anything up.
What's
All right, I
next?
think we're all good. Let's see. There's a spot for gambits somewhere on here. I think nobody. Does anybody have abilities that give extra gambits? The scoundrel might.
I
depending on
believe
what
I
he
might.
does. Do you have at least 2?
No, I don't. I didn't get that one that gives me extra gambits. I don't think.
All right, maybe in the future.
Oh
all
no!
right, so
Yeah, we do. Your crew starts with +1 gambit when the pool resets.
okay, so you start with 3 then. Nice. So these are all things you spend to get extra dice.
Did we get items?
Ah, that's a good point. So you'll notice on your character sheet there is in the lower right, and to a degree, like to the left of that, you have like lists of things like blaster pistol, and then you have specialty weapons that are just for your character playbook under items. So like the Mystic has a fine melee weapon offerings. This game has sort of like a Schrodinger's bag approach to items. It's assumed that you have access to all these things listed, and when you go into a job, you just choose like a level of gear that you have. Like, are you undercover and only have like a few things? Are you sort of moderate, or are you like super kitted out with like guns sticking out of your back? And then you spend those points to say, oh, I have this, or oh, I have this. You don't decide ahead of time what you have or what you're carrying. You can just decide in the moment to say, oh, I just got shot. Okay, I spend 3, or I spend 2 load to get armor or whatever. So it's kind of this like, it's supposed to be like this Ocean's 11 kind of heist movie stuff where your characters are more resourceful than we see. They have stuff going on in the background, and you can just pull that in as sort of like a fiat type of thing.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk more about it. There's also this cool mechanic of flashbacks where you can essentially spend a stress or so to declare a flashback that you set something up. So if you get cornered in a bar, you could do a flashback to say, oh, I draw the gun that I had taped under the table. And, maybe that cost a stress or something, but now you have it, you did it. So that's the kind of like bring in this. There's a thing in heist movies where like you see setups where it looks like things are going terribly wrong, but then it turns out that like they had prepared for this, and it turns out they're not going wrong. So that's what the flashback mechanic tries to emulate. This is a game where you don't spend a lot of time in-game planning. You just sort of jump into it and then use flashbacks to say, oh, we planned for this in this way. All right, so we're all done. We have our crew and our ship. The game has a starting situation that it kind of flings you into. Let's take a short break, and then we can jump right into that.